final exam for 112 covers chapters 7 and 8. It does not cover any vocabulary in 8. It covers vocabulary in chapter 7. The only thing that comes from 8 is the imperfect, and comparing the preterite with the imperfect. So this is what your test is going to look like. You've got a section where it says ¿Cuál es el verbo correcto? You're going to complete the following sentences by selecting the correct verb. All of this is in the preterite, and these are irregular verbs in the preterite. So you need to know what the verbs mean, and then you also need to pick the spelling that matches the subject. Be careful. Remember that sometimes when we talk about giving and we talk about saying something, you're often giving something to someone or saying something to someone. So be careful of these little guys right here. You usually don't conjugate for direct and indirect object pronouns unless it's reflexive, in which the subject and the object are the same person. Most of the time it's not. If you're talking about giving a paper to your professor, someone's giving, like you, the student, may be giving the paper, and then the professor is to whom you're giving it. So be careful of that. And remember that for the most part, that your subject, the person for whom you're deciding to conjugate, tends to, in statements, come before the verb, and in questions it tends to come after the verb, and your verb is represented by the blank. So that'll help you decide how to conjugate. This is vocabulary, el tiempo libre. This is from chapter 7. These are weather and some activities that you can do in your free time, because in order to do activities, you need to know what the weather is like. So you'll read the sentences below and then decide which of the words in the word bank would best complete the sentences. ¿Qué es esto? This is also vocabulary. Do you know the vocabulary that talks about past times using the descriptions provided? Fill in the blanks with the correct vocabulary word. Don't forget to include the correct definite article, which is your el, la, los, and las. A lot of times when we have nouns, and we're just talking about the noun in general, in Spanish you tend to put the definite article with the noun. So you'll just read the sentence, and this one does not have a word bank, so just make sure you're studying the vocabulary that's in chapter 7. However, if you're smart, you could probably look around on your test. If you can't remember some words, you might be able to find it somewhere else in the test. El pretérito o el imperfecto. Okay, so you're not having to form it, but you're making that choice. Okay, so you're deciding, does this statement require preterite or does it require imperfect? Okay. And so then you will read through the sentences below and pick the spelling. You've got 2 of them that are in the preterite and 2 that are in the imperfect, and you've got to decide which spelling and which tense best completes the sentence. Okay. So you'll want to go back over any videos or notes that we have that describe when you use preterite, when you use imperfect. El examen de vocabulario es mañana. Tomorrow is your big vocabulary test. Complete each of the following sentences with a logical word or phrase from the list, and no answers repeated. So you just read the sentences below. You don't need to change any of these words. Just pick a word from the list and plug it in. Okay. And there's quite a bit of vocabulary because we didn't cover everything that was in chapter 7. We stuck to doing preterite and imperfect and just vocabulary. So here again, we've got choose the appropriate verb. This is preterite. It's irregular preterites again. You just have to decide which of the 2 choices makes the most sense, and then which spelling of your choice makes the most sense. Okay, then you've got a listening section. Lo que hace Erika. Listen to Erika describe the things that she likes to do in her free time. Then read each of the following statements and decide whether it is true or false. If the information is not given, select no se menciona. This I'll play multiple times in the classroom, or if you're doing this online, you'll be listening to it multiple times before you mark your answer. Los deportes en la universidad. Alicia and Raúl are 2 international students at your university. They're discussing the sports they like and normally play. Complete their conversation by filling in the blanks with the correct words from the word blank. So there's your sports, which could help you probably with the other, some of the other activities up above. You just read through the dialogue and plug in the word that would best complete the dialogue. Okay, escoger, complete the following sentences by choosing the appropriate verb form. Again, it's the same thing, you're given choices. This time it's the imperfect. You're not choosing between preterite and imperfect. It's all imperfect, and you're choosing which spelling and which verb would best complete the sentence. Then you've got reading. Los Juegos Olímpicos de Verano, you read the following passage about Summer Olympics. Answer the questions below, telling whether they're true, false, or not mentioned based upon what you've read. En la playa, what things do you associate with the beach? You don't have a word bank for this one either, so make sure you study your beach vocabulary, and you'll write out what each item is using the definite article, the el, la, los, or las. Do you know the weather expressions? Match each expression to the appropriate image. So you see different weather, and then you've got your choices to the right, and you'll just write beside number 1 either A, B, C, etc. So it's not too hard. And that's it.